Drupalgeddon3, the sequel you definitely don't want to see in your environment.
Hey Mike, it sounds like we have another Drupalgeddon in our midst, and it feels like we just heard about Drupalgeddon2, so maybe you could fill us in on this, because I don't know where we're at.
Yeah, so Drupalgeddon2 was announced a couple of weeks back as a vulnerability. The Drupal team, issued patches for this, even going so far as to issue patches for no longer supported versions of their product. Like all patches, once they're released, they start to get torn apart and investigated by attackers, and this one was no different.
Within 5 hours, the patch had been reversed, which does not give people a lot of time to patch their Drupal stuff.
So Drupalgeddon3 does actually require a user to be registered on the site, and it does require them to have the ability to delete a node. In this case, there is proof of concept code that's been put out there again, which shows how you can basically do command injection through embedding of a get statement with a destination parameter. And by utilizing that flaw, attackers are able to get commands to execute on the device in the context of the web server and be able to then take action from there.
So, and for the folks that don't know, Drupal is it's a really popular content management system. So there's, probably hundreds of thousands of these installations out there, right?
Yeah, actually, estimates are that there's over 1 million installations that could be vulnerable. Okay. So there's quite a number of there.
The Drupal team actually, in advance of releasing the patch, they did actually do kind of a public service announcement, webcast, to let people know, hey, it's really important. You need to get this patched as soon as possible, because we know as soon as it gets out there, it's going to be exploited by people pretty quickly.
This is actually being actively exploited in the wild. They've seen results of that. Drupalgeddon2 was being used to deploy cryptojackers and other types of malware. Drupalgeddon3 apparently is, following right in its predecessor's footsteps in that regard as well.
Yeah, the cryptocurrency mining is interesting to me. We've been talking about it a lot, especially in this kind of footprint where a lot of this is in, large ISP web hosting infrastructures where Drupalgeddon probably gets deployed a lot. Very high horsepower machines, so they can be utilized both for high computation intensive things like cryptocurrency.
Well, yeah, we consistently see that cryptocurrency mining is like a new motive for all these, large, disparate, vulnerabilities. That now it's sort of like the last thing we needed was another reason for hackers to go after these things. But now, cryptocurrency mining is a real avenue towards some financial gain.
Mm-hmm. I'd be more concerned about people turning these into infrastructure as part of botnet operations and things of that nature. Not that cryptocurrency is a good thing that they're doing that, but I could see more adverse side effects from botnet type operators. So hopefully we don't see a Drupalgeddon4 like 3 weeks from now.
Not until next time around.
Well, in order to actually resolve this issue, organizations do have to patch for both Drupalgeddon2 and Drupalgeddon3 to be fully up to date with patching and preventing of this issue. Like any other software product, I'm sure we'll see other vulnerabilities at some point in time, but definitely want to make sure that you get both those patches applied in order to be secure.
If you're not implementing your website yourself and you're having a provider create your website, maybe check with them, say, does our content get generated with Drupal, that kind of thing, just because this is fairly significant and we want to make sure everybody gets the latest patches.